To the next round. Woo! It's been a week already. Yes. Can you imagine that? It's been more than a week, hasn't it? We did it last Monday.
Did we do it last Monday?
I think we did. Wow. More than a week away. It hasn't felt like that. Time's flying by.
We did it last Tuesday.
Did we?
We did it New Year's Day.
Sure, okay.
Yeah.
Never mind then. False alarm. I guess this is our time now. This is our time. Tuesdays. I guess we only have two more after this because we only have the championship and the Super Bowl.
Yep.
And this is the last of the 4 games. But wild card weekend, we'll talk about that in a second. Our general sort of reactions to it, or our reactions to our predictions, I guess. Yes. Then we'll move on to our actual predictions. Again, if you're watching this on Twitch, hello. If you're watching this on YouTube, also hello. If you're watching this on YouTube, but this was originally streamed on Twitch, so go check it out. We're going to be doing these on Tuesdays around this time, roughly 2 o'clock. Although I guess this time isn't good for you to know unless you're watching it live. Around 2 o'clock on Tuesdays, we'll be doing this. If not, it'll also be a VOD on Twitch and on YouTube.
Yes.
So thanks for joining me again, Bob, to make our predictions. Let's go over our results last week. So we picked all 4 games, and we all picked the same teams, not intentionally. We don't even know. I don't know who you picked. Some of these games I haven't picked yet for this week. But last week, we both picked the Colts, Seahawks, Chargers, and Bears. 2 for 2, right on the Colts and Chargers. Wrong on the Seahawks and Bears. I think we got the Colts game pretty down because we expected a pretty dominant performance from the Colts. We said it could be close, but we were pretty confident with our Colts pick. The Seahawks one, I think we were both wrong with. Although, the game ended up somewhat being close, not really. Yeah. It ended up on who. There was an injury bowl,
right?
And the receiver for the Cowboys got hurt, but then the kicker for Seattle got hurt, and that ended up really costing the game with the offside kick attempt just failing miserably.
Yep.
The Chargers game was, I don't think, what we expected. We both predicted a very close game, and despite the scoreboard showing a close game, and the Ravens had a chance coming back, it really wasn't that close. The Chargers kind of dominated the entire game. And the Bears game, we actually said could have been close, but ended off with a missed field goal. Did not see that coming.
No.
So interesting games. 2 for 2. We were wrong on some of them, but hopefully we're more right this week. Do you have any revelations from these picks or any things you? I have one.
I was very surprised by the Cowboys.
Well, I think with the Cowboys and the other teams, I don't mean to interrupt. I think the big theme here was defense.
Yes. Yeah, 100%.
Absolutely. Low scoring games.
Yep.
Not a single game was scored over 30 points. They were all low scoring games.
Yes. I have a feeling that this next week is not going to be
It's going to be the opposite.
Same.
I agree. I think I'm going to agree with you. I think last week was defense. This week's offense.
Yep.
But what's interesting is like to get to this round, almost every team that's made it, you got to applaud.
Right.
Because they made it here. They were challenged defensively to make it here, and they did. And now they're going to be challenged offensively. So really going to the championship, we should have the best of both teams.
Yes.
If it is, especially if it's a wild card team. Okay. So I guess we'll move on to our first game.
Yes.
Indianapolis at Kansas City. Indy is probably the hottest team right now, I think. If it's not Indy or the Cowboys, I don't know who it is.
Right.
But Indy is on fire, and a dominant performance against the Texans. It was. By the end of the first quarter, I'm like, this game's over, and people are like, no, it's not, and I'm like, oh, it's over, and it was. This game's I think is gonna be a little different. I think this is the game. Again, that Colts. I watched the Texans game. That Colts O-line is insane. The best offensive line in the game. Andrew Luck is the least sacked. The team went from being the most sacked team last year to being the least sacked team this year. Yeah. Andrew Luck can set up a lawn chair. He has so much protection, and it's clear. J.J. Watt didn't do, or Clowney didn't do anything with the Texans. And guess which team though has the most sacks of any team? If you had to guess,
is it Kansas City?
It is Kansas City, my friend. Kansas City, Sack City. I don't know. Saxon City. I don't know.
Jacksonville sucked.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see this matchup. I think this is going to be an offensive battle.
Yes, I think this is going to be Mahomes and Luck just slinging it.
And another interesting fact is the player with the most touchdowns in the season is Patrick Mahomes, and the second is Andrew Luck.
Yeah.
So this is the most combined in a playoff game ever. The most combined touchdowns going after each other. I think it's 89.
Yes,
it's 89. That's crazy.
I don't think this is gonna be the most firework game this year. I don't think this is gonna beat
the
Kansas
Rams.
City and Rams.
Absolutely not.
But I think it could be close.
It could be close.
I see both teams scoring 30-plus points easily.
Here's the problem I have with the Chiefs, though. Not only I'm not talking about their history. I'm just talking about their team. They don't have a running game anymore after some events we know of. Goodbye. And the Colts are dominant.
Yes.
At stopping the running game. So they are going to have a hard time finding any substitute and running over the Colts. And when it comes to Kansas City, they have probably one of the worst run defenses. Generally, their pass defense is bad too. They're really good, only good at sacking. They're pretty good at rushing the passer. Again, though, Andrew Luck is protected.
Right.
So I can't, and he's so protected. I can't see them getting many sacks. It depends, like who would win, the offensive line or the sack guys. I think it's going to be the offensive line in this case. They're just too good.
Yeah.
So then I think Andrew Luck's going to score a lot of points.
Yep.
It then comes down to, can Patrick Mahomes also score a lot of points against that Colts defense, which is also playing very
He's shown so far this year that he can.
He can.
But this is the playoffs. He can. A little bit different.
He can. And I think the big thing is that, and the other question is, if Patrick Mahomes can get ahead, can Andrew Luck catch up?
Right.
And I think it's in Kansas City, which is big. However, it's also important to note that Kansas City has also lost their last 8 playoff games in the past years. So I don't think they've won a playoff game since '92 at home. So they
don't do well at Arrowhead.
They don't do well in Arrowhead, but they also just do well in the playoffs.
Yeah.
Andy Reid kind of reads it. I don't know. It's a hard time because I think this Kansas City team
is very good.
Is the best they've ever been.
Yeah.
Their defense is just the only thing. I think if they had a decent defense, they could get ahead and hold them off. But I don't remember. If you remember a couple years ago, it was a Kansas City Colts game. I believe Kansas City was ahead. I want to say something like there was 28-3 or 38-3, 38-7. It was some 38-10 maybe. It was crazy, and the Colts ended up coming back and beating them. So history and the defense, I don't know, man.
Yeah.
I think the problem with Andy Reid is he gets ahead and just goes, well, time to sit back and enjoy the game. It's like, no, you gotta finish it. Andy Reid.
His game sense, his clock management is horrendous.
He plays way too conservative. He's ahead, and I don't think they can do that here.
No,
and
absolutely not.
I don't think they are going to do that here. So I think we're going to have ourselves a game on our hands. I think what we have here is, and another thing is too with the Colts. I noticed even with the Texans game.
Yeah.
Andrew Luck made a lot of mistakes, and I just don't think the Texans could punish those mistakes. He made some mistakes, and the Texans got interception, like whatever mistakes they made, but they could not capitalize off of that. It's going to be evident if the Chiefs can capitalize off that, and I guess that's really the big question. Can they? So I guess we'll move on to our picks.
Yes.
Who are you going with, and what are you looking for?
So I am gonna go.
Yep.
With the Indianapolis Colts.
Okay. Fair.
A very
slim.
It was a very slim margin.
Yes.
I just came very close to picking the Chiefs because I want to see Andy Reid not fuck up, but I think he will. And I don't think Patrick Mahomes will be able to carry them that much.
See, here's the thing I gotta say. Okay. Here's what I have to say. If I'm being honest with you, you're looking at a really good Kansas City team. Patrick Mahomes is an incredible quarterback. There's no denying that. You have Tyreek Hill, who's a really good receiver. And I think Andy Reid, despite his playoff strokes, is a good coach. At the end of the day, he's not a terrible coach. He knows how to coach. He knows how to... Every year his offense is good, no matter who he has. But with Patrick Mahomes, is even better. Showtime boy. Frog boy. But I think... Here's where I stand on this. The defense for Kansas City is not good. Okay? There's no denying that. Their corners are sloppy. They can sack, but against the offensive line, I can't see them doing everything. So it's just going to come down to whether or not they can beat them offensively. And I just think the Colts defense is too good. Especially, I think if they had Kareem Hunt, they could win this game. I would almost lean towards picking them. And I am leaning towards picking them. But I'm actually, once again, going to agree with you on the Colts. I came in here thinking of the Chiefs, but...
Yeah. You saw those things about how they have such a great offense and such a great team, but how many times in the past 8 years have we said that exact same thing, and they just go out
and you know what? I just don't think they match up well against the Colts.
Yeah.
I think if this was a few other teams in the AFC, maybe a different story. But I just, against that, really just watching that Texans game, watching that offensive line, I could not believe it. Like, I was watching it when I was talking to the person I was watching. I'm like, I cannot believe this. Like, I cannot believe how good this offensive line is. Like, it's insane. They have one of the best rookie offensive linemen. Like, and they just, no one can even touch them. Like, it's crazy. I think with mistakes, though, the Chiefs will get into this game. I think they definitely will. And I think this will be a close game. But I just think that, though, even if they have a lead, even if they have, like, a 10-point lead, I'm not going to be like, oh, Chiefs got this. I'm going to be like, oh, even like 10 seconds left, I'll be like, to the very end, let's see if they can actually win this. Again, I kind of wanted to go with the Chiefs, but I can't see them winning. Their defense is my biggest problem with them. And I think they just can't stop Andrew Luck. And if it's a race to go, I think then it comes down to defense. It just does. And even in shootouts, defense is important.
Yes.
And I think if this is going to be a shootout, the defense is going to win it, and I'm just going to give it to Indy, just that extra little oomph, because they have some damn good defensive players, especially stopping the run. And if they're forced to pass the entire game, it's going to be very interesting. So that's our first prediction.
Yes.
Second game, interesting game. I didn't see this coming at all. Primarily because we need Dallas to win and the Bears to lose.
Yes.
I didn't see that happening. So I never really thought about this game happening. But it's happening. And this is another interesting one.
Yes.
The Cowboys at Dallas in LA against the Rams. The Cowboys are actually, you know what? The Cowboys and the Colts are very similar teams.
Yes.
Maybe not necessarily because they have. I mean, they're definitely different in quarterbacks and running backs. No denying that. But their offensive line are both really good, and they have a good defense.
And they've also had similar trajectories this year.
Exactly. Rough start, looking good. And you know what? This game matchup is similar because Kansas City and Rams both dominant starts and kind of fell off. Especially the Chiefs really fell off. The Rams didn't really, but the Chiefs fell off in some regards. The last couple of weeks, they always do that though. Cowboys, though, incredible defense. Like watching in Seattle, their defense is nasty. Nasty. And the Rams' defense isn't. They're not that good. They're not terrible, but they're not that good. On paper, they should be really good. But what they need to do is collectively get together and stop the run. Because Zeke did a very good job against Seattle. And so did Dak. I was surprised how well Dak Prescott did. There were moments where we said, picking the games, if they could have put the game in Dak's hands, they're going to lose it. And they did it a few times, and he came through, whether it was on his feet or throwing the ball. So that much is undeniable. Also the Rams have Todd Gurley. This is the running back bowl. The only problem I see is like I said, the defense for the Cowboys is really good. Not so much for the Rams. That gives Elliott an advantage. And Todd Gurley is not. He's coming off an injury. He was hurt. He is expected to play this game.
He's had a very interesting career so far. Because he had an amazing breakout rookie year. He had a sophomore slump, and he just did not do well.
To be fair, though, his sophomore slump was with Fisher as coach.
It's true.
And so did Ezekiel Elliott, but he got suspended. So, But yeah, I don't know. Sean McVay has been a very good head coach for the Rams. Yes. Oh, definitely undeniable.
And Jason Garrett's been questionable, to say the least, for the Cowboys. So we'll see how that factors into that. But
if it comes again, the offensive line and the defense for the Cowboys are really, really solid. Amari Cooper has also been playing very well. Dak has been playing very well. And then on the Rams side of the ball, Goff is good. He can make some mistakes sometimes that you're like, but even though like the offense is, I'm never like, whoa, that's crazy with Rams offense. It's not because of one player. It's because of the coaching. That's because Sean McVay knows how to run schemes here. The big thing is two big things I'm gonna say. Number one, and this is like the problem. It's like these matchups. It's like this team's good at this and this team's bad at that. Who is gonna be better? The winner's good and winner's bad. Like in this case, I think it comes down to actually home field advantage. LA is at home. Undeniably, that does not give them that much of an advantage, especially playing in LA. I think the only other worst advantage would be for the Chargers. But LA, there's really no advantage there. So then that says, well, the Cowboys, that gives them an advantage, kind of, but the Cowboys are not good on the road. Look at their road, look at their records, look at their home record, look at their away record. Like most teams, like a lot of teams, they're just not good on the road. They're just not good on the road. So you're going a team that's not good against the road against a team that's not good at home. Or doesn't really not that they're not good at home. They don't have that much of an advantage at home. Who's the pick here? Yeah. This is the pick. This is an interesting matchup.
It is very interesting.
I could really see this going either way. I think both teams are pretty solid. I just don't know if both these teams have holes in them.
They do.
And I think for the Rams, that's their sort of defense. Mm-hmm. They're like ranked 23rd in defense. Their defense is not consistent enough.
Yeah.
But they are explosive on offense. So I think if this is my thing. I think the Cowboys are probably going to have to score if their defense can't stop them, which I don't think they can. I mean, maybe they can. We'll see.
Right.
If they can't stop them that well, they're going to have to score at least like 30 points to win. Mm-hmm. And I don't know if the Cowboys can do that.
Yeah.
Can they? Hard to say. What do you? Before we get through our picks, which we'll do in 1 second, is there anything you're focusing on one team, like one thing you really want to put pressure on?
I don't know. I think a lot of this comes down to if Zeke or Gurley can have a better game. Yeah. Because that'll take pressure off of their quarterbacks if they can do well.
Absolutely. I completely agree. And again, like we said, if you're looking at that, then you're looking at the defense of the Rams. It's not that good, and the run defense for the Cowboys, that is really good.
Mm-hmm. Well,
they're number 5th in defense and run defense, and I think the Rams like 23rd, so that's a huge difference.
Yeah.
So who are you going with here?
This is very tough.
This is a tough
one.
This is a
very, very tough.
And it shouldn't be.
No.
If this was a couple weeks ago, I'd have an obvious pick, but
yeah.
The Cowboys are hot and the Rams are good.
I'm gonna go with the Rams.
You're gonna go with the Rams.
Yes.
Okay.
I'm gonna go with the Rams because several reasons. I think that Gurley can have a very good game, and I think he will have a very good game.
Yeah.
And I think that Sean McVay is gonna work his magic, trying to get them in a good position, and I don't think Jason Garrett's going to be able to avoid having a little hiccup at the end of the game. Yeah. And I think it's going to come down to some last-second shenanigans, and the Rams will pull ahead.
We got to start picking different teams. I agree with you on this one. I'm also going with the Rams. I swear I'm not. I thought you were going with the Cowboys. And I'm like,
I thought I was going with the Cowboys, too.
I thought you were because the way you were talking, and I'm like, oh, well, that's good. He's finally going to pick a team that I'm not going to pick. Listen, I know I just talked about how the Cowboys can win and all, and I think they have a chance. However, I just don't have confidence. I don't have confidence in them on the road, and I just think they can be a little too inconsistent. Yeah. They look good, but one bad game, and it's going to be a bad game. Mm-hmm. And they're in the big boys leagues now. I'm not saying the Seahawks weren't. They were a good team, but they weren't the big boy leagues. Yeah. Let's be honest. I thought the Seahawks were good, and if Seahawks would have won, then they would have been playing the Rams, and I would have definitely picked the Rams over them. But now you got the Cowboys coming in. That's a big boy league.
Yes.
And I don't know. They're going to be tested. Again, though, just like last game, either team could win.
Yeah.
And also, I will admit I'm a little biased. The Rams were my Super Bowl pick. So I kind of wanted them to win just so I was right about it. Mm-hmm. But same picks.
Yeah.
We got to pick something different. All right. Not intentionally. Just if it happens, it happens. All right. Next game. We got the L.A. Chargers visiting Foxborough.
Yes.
New England. Bob, what you looking for in this game?
This is going to be interesting.
Yes.
Because you got Phillip Rivers and Tom Brady, two of the most experienced quarterbacks in the league.
Historically, Tom Brady will win.
Right.
Because he's 6-0 against Rivers.
7-0.
7-0?
Yeah. Really? None of the quarterbacks left in the playoffs have ever beaten Tom Brady.
Wow.
So
Drew Brees hasn't?
No.
Damn.
Yeah.
No. Big Dick Nick.
AFC. Sorry.
Big
AFC.
Dick Nick.
Not NFC.
Don't even
AFC.
get me
AFC.
on this
AFC.
stuff. Big Dick Nick is back in the building. Go ahead.
AFC. I forgot it was AFC.
Yeah.
I got my side wrong.
Andrew Luck hasn't either?
No.
Really?
Yeah.
Damn. Okay. Wow.
Yeah.
Interesting.
But no, and then this has been a very rough year for the Patriots, considering. I mean, 11-5 is not that rough, but
well,
compared to how they
undeniably, and you can agree.
They are on the downswing.
You can agree with me with the statement or not. Undeniably, this is the worst team Tom Brady has ever played.
Yes, I 100% agree.
Yes, their defense is.
Yeah, every time I've seen that stat of how every quarterback in the AFC that's left has never beaten Tom Brady. I'm like, I think the last times they've played, there's been a better team around Tom Brady.
Yeah,
so
undeniably, I think receiving core, this is his worst.
Right.
Especially with Gordon gone now.
Mm-hmm.
The defense is just it's not good. Yeah. It's not.
You got Stephon Gilmore and Dante Hightower, and that's about it.
Yes, and Harmon's all right.
Yeah, Jerome Harmon's pretty good.
Yeah, those, yes. I mean, Gilmore's definitely the best one.
Yeah,
for sure, he's a star. But everyone else, their run defense, their They're definitely
it's been rough.
It's been rough,
but there's been weird. The teams they've lost to are not the teams you'd expect them to lose to, and the teams they've beaten are the teams you don't expect them to beat.
Yes,
because they were 11-5. All 5 teams that beat them did not make the playoffs.
Right. Then you have the Chargers though,
right,
and they're a little bit of an interesting bunch.
Yes.
That Ravens game was interesting. The defense is incredible, undeniably. Chargers defense is stacked.
Yes.
They made the Ravens, Lamar Jackson, who could move his feet, who could run around, they made him look like he was in a wheelchair.
Right.
They made him look like he was 41. Like
the Ravens actually almost came back and won that game though.
They didn't though.
Well, they had 45 seconds left with the ball.
Yeah.
Only down by 7.
I know.
And then there was another fumble.
Yeah, I know it came down to the end, but I still think the Chargers were dominant.
Yeah.
And I mean, if you want to talk about like coming back, the Chargers are came back against the Steelers under a huge deficit.
Yep.
Came back against the Chargers. The thing for the Chargers, if I were to give them advice, and their offense is good. I think maybe this is a overstatement. I think the Chargers are the most consistent team and the most complete team.
Yeah.
In the entire NFL. The Saints are pretty close, but I would actually pick the Chargers over because I think their defense is better.
Yeah.
Here's the thing, and their running game too is really good. Here's the thing I have for the Chargers. When you play the Patriots, you cannot get ahead of them, just like the Chiefs would.
Right.
And say, all right.
That's it. Conservative
time, let's finish this off.
Just run the ball.
You need to play to beat them.
Yes.
You need to keep going. There is no resting here. And objectively, the Patriots have an advantage. They're at home.
Yep.
They play well at home.
They're 8-0 at home this season.
Yeah, they are. Their away record may be bad.
Yes.
But their home record is astounding. They're really, really good at home. And you know what it is? It's just the Patriots. They have a way to win.
Yep.
Like, they can go out there with a bunch of old people, and they'll win. Like, it's just weird, but they'll find a way to win when they need to win. And that's why it's almost, like, hard to be, like, to say the Patriots aren't going to win. Like, how can you say... Like, it just is very difficult. Yeah. But looking at the team matchups, like, I can't... The Chargers are just a better team, I think.
I know.
And I think that they have a better record.
They do.
Oh, they have the same record. No, they have a better record.
Chargers were 12-4.
Yeah. They seem like a more complete team. And despite playing away, I just think that... And you want to speak about their away?
Right.
They have a better away record than they do a home record.
Yeah.
They're 8-1 away. Well, they're kind of 8-1 because like one of their games was at home. It was London, but it was away. We count that as an away game. 8-1. That's good. That's really good. And their only away loss was against the Rams, and that's barely at home. It's like right down the field.
Yes.
So for some reason, when they go far away from where they play from, they do well.
They do well. Yeah.
So I mean, what are you looking for here from the Chargers? Like, how do you think the Chargers could win? What do they have to do?
I think their defense needs to keep being smothering.
Yes.
And if Joey Bosa can get to, is it Joey Bosa? Yeah. If he can get, because there's multiple Bosas.
Yes.
If he can get to Tom Brady a lot, then I don't think that the Patriots have much of a chance at all.
Oh, I think that I disagree with that. They have a chance.
Yeah.
They always have a chance. That Bob.
I'm saying if Tom Brady gets sacked 5+ times,
they still have a chance.
Yeah,
they do. They have a chance.
Yeah.
All right. Who are you going with here, Bob?
I'm gonna go with the Patriots.
Okay.
And this is not just my Patriots fan bias speaking.
Okay.
I had a well thought out thing to say, and I cannot remember what I was gonna say because we went into conversation about the Chargers, so I completely forgot what I was gonna say.
Tradition.
Yeah, it's so hard to pick against the Patriots, especially at Gillette Stadium.
It is. You shouldn't.
No.
My advice is don't pick against the Patriots.
Right.
In the playoffs.
That's
my advice.
God, it's just there's so many games where you think like, okay, this is the one that the Patriots are going to lose, and then they just destroy them.
Yes.
Because I think because of I remember what I was going to talk about.
Yes.
I think because of what happened in the Ravens game yesterday. If it's or not yesterday, Sunday, Saturday. If what happens at the end of that game happens again against the Patriots, where the Chargers are up and they almost let them back into it, I think the Patriots will get back into it, and they won't have the only reason that the Ravens didn't get back into it because they were having fumbling problems all day.
Right.
They had three fumbles in the first 10 minutes of the game. It was ridiculous.
Yeah, they did. Yes.
So, and I don't think the Patriots are going to do that. And I think if the Chargers have a similar performance to what they did against the Ravens, I don't think the Chargers are going to win. So I'm going to go with the Patriots.
Okay. Here's what I have to say. You're right. The Ravens almost came back. Okay. I agree with you. I think logically, the Patriots are the better team, are the team to pick. The only thing that I see is if this is a shootout and it comes down to defense, which defense do I trust more? And my problem is, you're right, like the Ravens almost came back, but that's because when the Chargers had the ball at the end of the game, the Ravens kept smothering them. Yeah. So you're not going anywhere. And to score in that defense is impressive alone, and to get that substantial of a lead, I think like if it comes down to that, like you're right, like they'll start coming back. I don't think the Chargers are then going to get the ball and be like, oh man, we're going to get shut out 3-0. I think they're going to go down the field. I think they're going to score. And that's why, ladies and gentlemen, I shouldn't have done this. For the first time picking against Bob, I'm going with the Chargers.
Okay.
I told myself, don't go against the Patriots. Why would you do that? And I think, honestly, I kind of do expect the Patriots to win. I just think that somewhere, watching last week's game, I just think if the Chargers play how they did play last week, but instead of playing the Ravens defense, they were playing the Patriots defense, I think they can get a substantial lead to win this game. I think the Chargers are by far, if not the most, probably second most consistent team in the league.
I think if the Ravens won last week, I would have picked the Ravens against the Patriots.
I would not have, actually. I think if the Ravens won, I would absolutely pick the Patriots to beat the Ravens. If the Chargers won, I'd pick the Chargers. When I was watching that game, because I think the Ravens, their ball control, their offense just looked terrible, and their coaching looked terrible. They did not look good at all.
Well, I mean, yeah, I don't know.
The matchup.
Lamar Jackson is a very mobile quarterback,
right,
and the Patriots are horrendous against mobile quarterbacks.
And give the Chargers credit, they stopped him.
Yes.
They made him not mobile. And that's the thing, is he's mobile, and they have this mobile offense, and the Patriots aren't. So I just can't, I think this matchup just favors the Chargers. I think it just favors the Chargers. Mm-hmm. This is going to be a game where both offenses are... I think, going to be... Both offenses are going to have to go after each other. And at the end of the day, with the defenses, it's going to be Tom Brady versus Phillip Rivers. But do I expect Phillip Rivers to be better against the Patriots defense, or Tom Brady to be better against the Chargers defense?
Right.
And that's hard to say. And undeniably, Tom Brady may be undeniably the greatest of all time, but he hasn't played that well this year. He hasn't played terrible.
Right.
He's played good.
Yeah.
Undeniably. He's a top 10. But he's not like... He's not this...
coming off an MVP season, it's hard to play that level again.
Right. But seeing this at 41, I just... Against this defense, or the Chargers against Tom Brady's defense? Looks like this is our first... Out of all the picks, we picked all last week's game and this week. This is our first pick where we disagree. And it's going to be interesting.
You're going based on facts. I'm going based on history.
There we go. Facts and history. Who will win? And I think you're not wrong to do that. Because every year, like last year, I'm like, Jags are going to win. No. Every year, it's like that. So we'll have to see how that ends up going on. Last game of the day.
Yes.
The Philadelphia Eagles with Big Dick Nick.
Yes.
And the Saints with Drew Brees.
Oh, boy.
All right. Let's talk about this. First of all, I know the Eagles won off of a missed field goal. But it's undeniably they played well against the Bears.
They did.
And to be like, well, they barely scored. The Bears' defense is incredible. Yes. They did a very good job against them. And while the Bears' offense isn't that really good, their front five was really good at stopping Mr. Trubisky and anyone from escaping the pocket and being mobile, which matched up well against them. I don't know if that matched up well against Drew Brees because, well, they're not really like that. The one thing the Bears didn't really have was a running game, and you cannot say the same about the Saints. Right. And I see a lot of people mad that, specifically Bears fans, mad that the Bears missed, what was his name? Cody, what was his name? Cody, the Bears kicker.
Was it Cody Parkey?
Cody Parkey, yeah. He, they're all mad at him because he missed that end field goal, which is crazy.
But they should not be mad at him.
He scored more points than their offense.
Right. And that kick was kind of blocked.
Kind of.
It got tipped.
And it hit the upright and
the crossbar.
And the crossbar. Like,
he could not have been closer.
Granted, he does have a history of hitting the upright.
He did. He hit it 4 times in one game.
But, like he scored 12 points. Yeah. And your team scored, like, what? Like, he scored...
No, it was 9 and 6.
9 and 6. He scored 9 points, and your other team scored 6. Like, get out of here with that. He's whatever. I'm sorry.
Yeah, it should not be.
Wrong game.
Should not be.
Wrong game.
Yeah.
All right. Let's focus on the Eagles first.
Yes.
What are you looking from Big Dick Nick and the Eagles?
I'm looking to see if against the Saints, admittedly somewhat weaker defense than the Bears, if they can pick up their offensive productivity. Because if they can't, then the Saints are just going to outscore them like crazy because their offense is ridiculous.
Yes.
Although they did run into some roadblocks late in the season.
Yes.
I don't know.
I don't know. The Eagles, I thought their season was done.
Yeah.
And then Big Dick Nick said, "All right, here we come again," and everyone is like, "Uh-oh." Honestly, I know some Saints fans are probably like, "Yeah, right," but you should be worried if you're playing Big Dick Nick. Right. You should. He is good. He's a good quarterback. But no, for me, the Eagles. I think the big thing about the Eagles is less of their offense and more their defense. They're just front five. They can stuff. They stuff them. You just can't. I saw them, how they played with the spies. Mitchell Trubisky would try to run out of the pocket and they would stop him. Granted, you're not going to see Drew Brees do that much. He might. He does run occasionally. He's not a running quarterback, but when he needs to, he will.
He's kind of closer to the Aaron Rodgers level.
Aaron Rodgers, exactly. So. Yeah. But and on the Saints, looking at the Saints side, their defense is, yes, admittedly weaker than the Bears, but it's good. Yeah, it's not bad.
Right.
It's not incredible. Their passing defense isn't that good. Their corners, and trust me, I know they have Eli Apple on their team, who was in the Giants. He sucks. All right, I'm so glad we got rid of him. Anyway, sorry. No, they're just their corners and their pass defense, not pass rush. Their pass defense corners aren't very good. Yeah. They're just that's their weakest part for sure. They're good against the run, and they have a solid defense that can do what they need to do.
Right.
Their offense is where it's at, where it shines. Really, besides the Dallas Cowboys game, they really haven't been limited too much. They maybe have recently seemed a little slower down, but that's because they made the playoffs. They knew where they were. They knew they had that number 1 seed down. But looking at the Saints, they're well rested. They're 2 weeks to rest.
Yep.
Whether that will help them or not, if you're looking at momentum from the Eagles or resting from the Saints, that's all the personal preference. Look at the history. I don't know which one does better. I think rest has been doing better recently, but there was a period of time, especially in the late 2000s, early 2010s, where it seemed like the teams that were just hot just kept going through. So. And the Eagles are hot, undeniably. Yes. But what are you looking for towards the Saints? Or this matchup in general?
The offense needs to get jump-started back again because they slowed down in the past few weeks.
Yes.
But if Drew Brees can get everybody moving and the running game can...
Especially with Kamara.
Kamara and Ingram, they can get back into their groove.
Yes.
Which I really think they can.
Yes.
Especially being at home. They can just
fly
right through the Eagles.
Man, I saw some big plays from the Bears. I think Mitchell Trubisky was okay last week. He had some really good throws. And like I said, that front five, they're good. But if Drew Brees can... do what he does and get the ball where it needs to go.
Yep.
I don't think the secondary can stop them.
No.
So, and the big thing we haven't even mentioned yet, the Saints are at home.
Yes.
The Saints are at home. Getting through New Orleans to win is difficult. It just is. Undeniably difficult.
Yes.
So, and I think actually, ironically, one of the one teams that could have done it with the Bears.
Yeah.
But... we'll see. The Eagles, you know what? Maybe they may. They have the experience.
They may have the magic of Big Dick Nick.
The magic of Big Dick Nick, the experience, the know-how. They've done this before. They did it last year.
Yep.
They know what they're doing. Bob, what are you looking for and who are you going with?
I'm going to go with the New Orleans Saints.
Okay.
I lean in their favor mostly because of... not necessarily mostly because of home field advantages. It helps me.
Yeah.
The home field, but... got their offense when they can get going, and they've had 2 weeks to prepare and be ready to get going. Right. I think it's just they're gonna start rolling, and they're not gonna be stopped.
Rolling.
They're gonna keep on rolling, and the defense is gonna do just enough to keep Big Dick Nick in check.
I mean, the Eagles barely beat the Bears, and I'm not saying that to slight them. They did a good job. They played to win.
Yes.
It's just I don't know if they can't beat the Bears how they beat the Saints. Right. They're going to have to beat the Saints more convincingly. And this is a rematch of earlier in the year, and we all remember what happened. Yeah. The Saints destroyed them. So I'm actually going to agree with you. Go with the Saints here. Another game we agree on. Although I think this game isn't so like we won. That's me rubbing my hands. We won. Game's over. Saints won. Saints fans yep, I'm on the championship. Not so quick. And remember what happened last year with the Vikings.
Yep.
Miracles. And the Eagles seem to be a team of miracles.
Yes.
So those are our predictions. We'll go through again. We both picked the Indianapolis Colts to beat the Kansas City Chiefs. We both picked the LA Rams to beat the Dallas Cowboys. You picked the New England Patriots while I picked the LA Chargers in that matchup. And we both picked the Saints to beat the Eagles. A lot of interesting games. I don't think the Colts game and the Chiefs game, that could go either way.
Mm-hmm.
The Rams and the Cowboys game can go either way.
Yep.
The Chargers and Patriots game could go either way. I think the only game that we're pretty confident on is the Saints game.
Right.
If I really had to put my money on any game that I think a team's going to win, I'm going to pick the Saints.
Yes.
And really because they're at home. If they're away, I think it could be closer.
Yes, absolutely.
I still pick them, but at home, rested with Drew Brees, I think they're the most complete team here.
I agree.
Because of that, they're going to win. Anything else you want to say? Looking forward to this weekend.
I think that wraps up all our thoughts. I kind of knew you were going to disagree with me on the Patriots one.
Really?
Yeah.
I didn't know I was going to pick the... I going into that one, I didn't know who I was going to pick.
Mm-hmm.
I really didn't. Like, the only one I knew going in who I was going to pick were the Saints.
Yeah.
You talked about it, and I'm just thinking about it, and I'm like, the tradition tells me Patriots, but I just... I can't see it happening.
The only pick I didn't know who I was going to pick for the Cowboys and Rams game.
Yeah. That one I didn't know either.
Yeah.
Colts and Chiefs I didn't know either.
I decided I was going to pick the Colts earlier.
Oh, did you?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, we'll have to see how wrong we are next week when we come back. If you're watching this on YouTube, check out my Twitch.
Mm-hmm.
If you're watching this on Twitch, go check out my YouTube.
Yes.
Go check out my Twitch where we stream this live.
Mm-hmm.
Every, I guess we're doing it on Tuesdays now.
Yeah.
Whatever. We have 2 more to do. We'll be back next week for the AFC and NFC Championship. Multiple. And then we'll be back probably 2 weeks after that for 2 weeks after that.
For the Super Bowl.
For the Super Bowl. Yeah.
Yep.
So.
I always forget that there's 2 weeks in between the championship game and Super Bowl.
There is. It's always a long wait. Yep. Never for me, though, because my team's never in it. But anyway, thanks for watching. Thanks for being here, Bob.
Thank you for having me.
And we'll see you all next week to see how wrong we are next week.
Mm-hmm.
And see how wrong we were this week.
Yes.
I hope we get 2 for 2. Won't be that bad.
Yeah.
Although we can't get this. One of us will objectively have a better picks than the other one.
Yep.
Depending on who wins it's really just depending on who wins the Patriots and Chargers game. That will decide who has the better one. We could be 1 for 3. We could be one of us could be 4 for 4, then 3 for 3. So that we will have a different record. So one of us will have bragging rights for 10 seconds. So we can move on. This is me. All right. Thanks. All right. Bye.